So, unfortunately, the airstrikes continue on different parts of Lebanon, and we have received several casualties, and there were people who were killed. It's not as intensive as it was on Monday. That was one of the heaviest day for us since almost the civil war, where we had, as you reported earlier, around 569 people who were killed, including 144 women and children and 9 healthcare workers.
So how are hospitals and the health system they're coping with the numbers of casualties?
Well, they are working almost at full capacity. Remember that we still are, we're hosting the casualties from the attacks of last week. Some of them who had severe injuries are still in hospitals. The attacks, the range of the attacks and the number of people who came into hospitals, especially on Monday, was really unprecedented. Just for comparison, in the 2006 war, we had almost 11,000 casualties during a period of 1 month. In 1 week, we have received up till now over 5,000 casualties. And this is at a time where Lebanon is passing through a severe financial crisis. We've already had a large number of our doctors and nurses who migrated because of the financial issues and so on. So we're really, the health sector is really under a lot of strain.
What's your response, Dr. Abayad, to Israel's claim that Hezbollah is using civilians as human shields? The Israeli PM saying that, quote, our war is not with you, meaning you being civilians.
Well, when you see this number of civilians who have been injured, I mean, on the attacks on Monday, almost all of the injured were civilians, and same applies for those who were killed, including, by the way, members of UN agencies. We have 2 members of UNHCR, including 1 member's child, were killed during those attacks. We have seen attacks on hospitals, attacks on primary healthcare centers. 19 ambulances and firefighting machines were directly attacked. So I think that, the claims are baseless. And to think that people are hiding cruise missiles in their homes, I think is an insult to intelligence.
A senior Hezbollah commander was killed during airstrikes overnight, though.
Indeed. I mean, that's 1 member out of 569 killed. As we said, the vast majority, unfortunately, of the people who are bearing the wrath of what's happening are innocent civilians. And I think that this is, in international humanitarian law, it is extremely important for states that are attacking, especially countries with excellent intelligence like Israel, to make sure that civilians are not attacked indiscriminately with those bombings.
Israel did, though, send text and audio messages to people living in the areas it planned to strike, warning them to leave. So what's happening in terms of people moving north, and what capacity is there to accommodate them in those regions?
Yes, it's important to mention that those text messages or calls were received almost 20 or 30 minutes before the bombardment started. Now, concerning the number of people who are moving, we are seeing in tens of thousands of people fleeing the targeted area. We have to understand that the areas of attacks are so wide that really what we are seeing is mass exodus. And we believe in Lebanon that this is the ultimate aim of the terror campaign that was launched on Monday, and that is to cause the largest number of displacement possible. Now, the Lebanese government has already opened almost 250 shelters, and they are receiving, the people who are fleeing. But clearly, the resources in a low-resource country such as Lebanon might not be sufficient, and we're trying to see how we can accommodate all of those who are displaced.
Hezbollah fired about 300 rockets into Israel yesterday. Given the strain on the health system that you've already described, Are you calling on Hezbollah to cease its action?
We're calling on everybody to cease this action, actually. The Lebanese government from the day one has clearly said that we do not want war. We have been calling for a ceasefire from day one, from Gaza to Lebanon. Even now we've just heard the president of the US also calls for a diplomatic solution. Yesterday, the prime minister of the UK called for a ceasefire. I think everybody is calling for a ceasefire except the party that is escalating its attacks on Lebanon. And I really hope that the ongoing discussions in New York, our prime minister and our foreign minister, Minister of Foreign Affairs are already in New York in these high-level talks. And we really hope that they will come to fruition, including the release of hostages and a ceasefire that allows us to go into a diplomatic solution.
Are you optimistic that a diplomatic solution will bring an end to hostilities?
If I want to be honest with you, I'm not that optimistic. I think that our previous encounters with the other party have not been that good, and it's clear that Israel has. There are intentions behind its latest, attacks on Lebanon. They are not just escalations; they are provocations, and we will see. Let's hope for the best.